you can treat it. Give it a first aid as you go for the proper mentoring. And I like that quote. My mistakes have been my greatest mentors. Look at that philosophy, that your mistakes should be your greatest mentors. And that's what's pointing to self-mentorship. On mentoring matters, we are told it's helping. And you can see those philosophers there. We are told the story of mentorship goes back to the Greek mythology that Odysseus, king of Ithaca, went for war, the Trojan War, and he left home his family, but he selected somebody to take care of the family, taught, overseer, and all that, and the particular son, Telemachus. And therefore, the simplest definition of a mentor becomes a fully trusted helper. So a mentor is a helper. And there it is. So you're confident, you're a listener, you're a role model, your friend, your guide, and above all, your helper. And I am focusing on the helper. Then I'll do some few quotes. The first one comes from the good book, the Quran. And it says, indeed, Allah will not change the conditions of a population until they change what is in it themselves. Focusing on yourself. I'm not going to change you until you change yourself. That's the message we're getting. And the good book again, the Bible, there is that verse, if any would not work, neither should he eat. And we have corrupted it to mean God helps those who help themselves. I'm told there is no verse in the Bible saying God helps them. We have only corrupted that one to say God helps those who help themselves. So if you don't help yourself, even in matters mentorship, nobody will help you. So God helps those who help themselves. What are we saying? Don't seek for encouragement from outside. Find it from inside. As a first aid measure, even as you go out to the mentor, what is in you? And therefore we are saying, the only person who can stop you is yourself. And I think the technology, yes, already skipped a few of my slides, and the sentence is not finished. So the only person who can stop you is yourself. And it goes on to say, and it's only you who can chart your way forward. That quote again, in life, nobody and nothing will help you until you start helping yourself. So we're focusing on the you, even as we go for mentorship. And we are told, as we grow older, you will find that we have two hands. One hand for helping yourself, and another one for helping others. The whole message is focusing on us, me and you. Unfortunately, many of us fear starting to help ourselves. That they will do it for me, the professor will do it for me, my wife will do it for me, etc. And when I say etc, it simply means end of thinking capacity. I can't think further. Failures are part of life, we are told. Why are you fearing to fail? If you don't fail, you don't learn. And if you don't learn, you never change. And therefore, perhaps you can say, the word fail means first attempt in learning. So if you take it that way, a failure is simply an attempt in learning. Then we should not fear failure. We should even encourage failing. Because if you don't fail, you don't learn. So you do your examination and you get an E and you give up as a student. The world has not come to the end. That is the first attempt in learning. And there it is again. Kuteleza sio kuanguka, sasa hiyo ni Kiswahili. And I'm told Kiswahili was born and bred and matured in Tanzania. Then it walked across to Kenya. It matured and got old. Then it came to Uganda. It died and was buried. Now we are told it is being reborn in Congo and in Rwanda. So I will add, asleep is not a fall for my... Wakenya mpo? What is it mpo? Tuongee basi. So we are told, if you are not sleeping, you are not progressing. Don't fear to fail. Don't fear even to mentor yourself. Choose to learn from what went wrong as a first aid to yourself. Take slip up seriously, but not personally. We are being told. And none other than Nelson Mandela himself. He says, I never lose. I either win or learn. Like losing was not in his vocabulary. And he goes on and says, a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. So if you do not dream, corporate say we have vision. A vision is a dream, isn't it? If a corporate doesn't have a vision, it's not dreaming, then probably it's not going anywhere. And the mission statement comes from that vision. So we must dream at individual levels and at corporate levels. And this man, Abdul, says, if you fail, never give up, because like we have already said, fail means first attempt in learning. And we never come to an end, because end means effort never dies. And never take no for an answer, because no simply means next opportunity. Can we pull ourselves forward? Can we use our own self-motivation? That's the message that we're getting. So we are being told, let us always be positive. And I'm saying, are you positive? Don't answer me. Answer yourself. Are you positive? Are these classes half full, half empty, or halfway? Don't tell me, and don't tell your friend. Ask it yourself. How are you seeing those classes? Half full, half empty, or halfway? If you are seeing it half full, you are an optimist. You look on the bright side of life. You are the one who says asleep is not a fall. If you are saying it's half empty, you are seeing it going down. You are saying, I failed today, tomorrow I might fail, and you give up. But if you are saying halfway, I don't know which, you don't know even which way, whether you're going there or not. So we are always asked and advised, let us describe our classes as half full. Even when it's going down, let us motivate ourselves, and it's you to motivate yourself, even before to go to the mentor. And because I'm in entrepreneurship, I cannot miss to mention entrepreneurs. I'm told it's about the biggest or the richest person currently, I don't know. He says, if you were born poor, that is not your mistake. But should you die poor, that's your only mistake. Don't allow yourself to die poor. Why? Don't go say, I was born in a poor family. That's not your mistake. But it's your own mistake to go and die poor. And, okay, another slide gone. There's a Wizards quote saying, nobody becomes a millionaire working for another. Don't take it literally. Nobody becomes a millionaire working for another in entrepreneurship. When you are working for somebody, you are creating profits, and your salary is just part of what you made for him. So why don't you make your own? Why don't you motivate yourself? And for athletics, that is our own David Rudisha. And when he broke that world record in 800 meters, he was asked, and he said, it is not the beginning that matters. It's not the beginning that's important. It is the finishing. So you may have started on a weak ground. That should not demotivate you. Look forward. Where am I going? That finishing. Because you can even overtake those who started. That's the message you are being given. When you undervalue what you do, the world will undervalue who you are. So for heaven's sake, why should you undervalue yourself? And another quote, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Look at them. Yes, we can go to school, we can have mentors, but how about yourself? Why don't you add a fortune to your living? This is the old message that we're getting. And I often chest thump. I like it. You know, chest thumping. I chest thump and I say, I am the best. I tell my students, I am the best professor. There's nobody who can be better than me. And I tell them, challenge me if you want. Then, you know, in my university, there are those, the DVC, the administration department evaluates us at every end of semester, and then we get results. I have promised myself that I'm the best. And then in evaluation, Grace is evaluated better than me. Then I say, but I promised myself. So what do I do? I say, how can he beat me? I must beat him. Either I befriend him so that I learn more, or I go back to my drawing board and say, it always pulls me forward. Because I've promised myself I'm the best. And then someone there is being the best. I don't want, because no is not an answer for me. So why don't you start now? You are the best father. And we see a father somewhere being better than you, say, no, I'm the best father. I'm the best mother. For students, you are the best BF. Huh? Or if you have a GF, then you are the best BF. You know what I mean. And I'm saying that, indeed, self-mentorship is now being discussed among academic circles. I came across that at that link, developing leaders in higher education, university faculty explores self-mentorship. I got it from the University of North Carolina. Look how they're saying, in higher education, where new faculty may lack assurance to lead in the university setting, and where it is critical for faculty to learn how to lead successfully in this environment, self-mentoring can provide. We're saying can provide. It's possible that it can do it. A means of faculty to build confidence through self-development, to which all faculty, new and existing, can become leaders in any setting. That is studied that. Then this, Beckford and Hargreaves are saying self-mentoring is the act of leading oneself in an unknown environment. We talked about dreaming. Or even hostile setting if necessary. Testing the waters. The process of an individual of any age, any profession, any gender, any race, any ability, and therefore you, because you are any one of those. You can also do, you take the initiative and accept responsibility for self-development. Even as we're going to be developed by our mentors. Even for you to go to that mentor, you must have your personal initiative, not to be slapped to go to the mentor. To make the most opportunity. They go further and say self-mentoring requires of you to assemble a realistic, accurate assessment of yourself. Look at your strengths and look at your weaknesses. Self-assessment with the goal of crafting your ideal self. We talked about a vision. A vision is an ideal, what we want to be, what pulls us. I know this university has a very good vision, and that vision makes us. When the council confronts the CEO, then they take the mission statement. How is our mission statement doing? Then the CEO says, yes, we are achieving this, we are achieving. So are we moving closer to our vision? Because we must have that. So we think that this practice is suitable for any age. So even me and you, who are in our sunset years, it is suitable for us. So self-mentoring, we are told, is applicable to each one of us. And there are those levels of self-mentoring. There are 5, those levels. We can look at it further there. I am focusing on level 1, self-awareness. And this self-awareness requires your personal SWOT analysis. We know SWOT. And that is now the tool that I want to share with how we can use our personal SWOT analysis to develop our self-awareness and become our own self-mentors. Of course, that you first of all set the goal, because you cannot moving nowhere. If you do not know where you are going, what will happen? Any road will lead you there, isn't it? If you don't know where you're going, any road will lead you there. Alternatively, if you don't know where you're going, you'll go nowhere. So you must first of all set a goal. Personal goal. Personal plan. Then get to work. Stick with it, and you'll reach the goal. So, how do you do that? How do you do your personal SWOT analysis? Step 1 is you state your career goal. For some of us, and my vice chancellor here, we are setting, because we are about retiring, so we set a goal when we retire, that where are we going? And if you are in year 1, you know you want first-class honors. That's your goal. Wherever you are, you have your goal to set. Then step 2, look inwardly. Start with yourself. Look at yourself. Reflect and write down your strengths and weaknesses. Then step 3, or rather, your strengths include things like you're thinking, what are you great at? What are your best moments? The weaknesses will, what is it that I can improve? What am I bad at? Then step 3, now look outside yourself. And outside just means now looking at the opportunities that you can crop out there and the threats that might be there to disturb you. Look at them. So the opportunities are, where can I go for help? The mentors are there. Even if before you call them, you have assessed yourself, so that even your relationship with your mentor will be anchored on a plan. And the threats are, what are these that might stand in my way? When you do that, then now you'll have your personal SWOT, and some of the questions you'll ask yourself to get your strengths are those ones. What skills do you have? All of us have skills. What am I good at? All of us are good at something. Even making noise, we are good at. Some students. Some of us are very good at keeping quiet. Because when I go further and say, what business do you have? Do you want to start? You tell me, let me get capital first. No, you are already wrong. You can start. I run a YouTube, and on my YouTube, it's Prof. Henry Buisa. You get my lecture on you can start a business with zero money. I know the VC tried when he was young, started selling tomatoes. I don't know if they're still selling them. But the person, the owner of this hotel, I've already gathered, where did he start? Was it selling vichuma? Was it a hardware? And where is he now? Can this be a role model? What can I do better than others? Yes, each one of us, there's something that you can do better than the other. Identify that one. That will be your strength. What others see in me as positives. When you are party after party after party, like Angela told us, they will tell you, oh, you're a very good dancer. Take it. That dancing could be your in thing. There is a lady from Uganda who is now, Kamusime, or there is, now she's a household name in Kenya. And, you know, we call it the laugh industry. It just makes people laugh. And where is she? Your weaknesses. Identify your weaknesses. What are you bad at? Be very objective. Because sometimes people are unable to see their own weaknesses. Then ask one of your best friends to tell you, what do you think you should practice more as students? Put that down. Probably you failed in chemistry. Should you practice that more? What makes you afraid? Is it the rain, like the Vice Chancellor told us? If the rain gets you afraid and Buisa is coming here to talk, which is better to the rain and miss Buisa's talk, or brave the rain and come to Buisa's talk? It's your choice. What are the roots of my failure? Try to dig them up. What experience do I lack? Many of us youngsters, boys and girls and graduates, say the industry is not employing us because they want experience. Where do we get this experience? And I say, hold on. If I am a private sector person, I've taken a loan to start my business, why should I take you to experiment in my... I need experience. But you have lots of experience. Those attachments that you do, those internships, it's only that you are not... There we are. The opportunities, think about them. What openings exist out there for me? We have mentors. We have laboratories. We have... Is it training? Are they friends? Role models? Are these opportunities? Identify them. But what obstacles are in my way of success? Identify them also. Who are my competitors? And when I identify competitors, don't compete, collaborate. What are the new technologies that I have not mastered? All those, you now convert them into what I call value-added SWOT. Not the SWOT that we always do, but now you create what I call, once you have your strengths, then you have your weaknesses, then you have opportunities, then you have created the white space here where you are now going to do your strategies. And how do you do the strategies? Matching and marrying. When you match your strengths and your opportunities, then you get your low-hanging fruits because you already have the strengths. There are already the opportunities. Capitalize on them. And when you match your weaknesses and opportunities, say, how can I use the opportunities to correct my weaknesses? And then when you do strengths and threats, say, how can I use my strength to withstand or to cope with the threats? And here you want to minimize all of them. So let's see. Your next step will be now the evaluation, like I've said. Matching them. I'm not going to match it right now. I want to do a SWOT analysis for guys like Professor Dominic, guys like me, like Obua. You know, we are in a sunset. We are retiring. So start doing your, mentor yourself. What are you going to do after retirement? This is a hypothetical one. You have the money. You are going to have your retirement package, isn't it? You have the money. I hope you have your supportive family. Because I know there are some people who love weightlifting so much. You know weightlifting? And then you feel again, weightlifting, no? That weightlifting sometimes disturbs you at home. But if you have a supportive family, that's a strength. If you have work experience, I have been working at the university for this is a strength. That experience, I can use it. Some are more patient than me and careful. If I'm not patient and careful, that's a weakness. If you have no experience, like the students have no experience in working, whatever, that's a weakness. If you're not creative, probably Angela will be your mentor in terms of creativity. You have seen how she has kept this thing lively since yesterday. And she has even already acquired a passport to be selected as the first person to go on exchange to Texas. Time management. If you have poor attitude, then that could be a weakness. And then opportunities. I'm talking to people of my age who are going out or retiring. There is a lot of demand for many products. It's there. That's an opportunity. We have business role models like this person. That's an opportunity. We have also fellow retirees who are not retiring alone. Those are, and the technology is advancing. Even if you are advanced in your age, you don't have to go there and see the technology can manage your business for you. But there are also those threats. You are going to meet stiff competition. Here, Uganda is a little better, but Kenya, high tax, a lot of, when I come from Western Kenya, which means Eastern Uganda, so sometimes when I'm in, I'm in the Bugoma, I just cross to come to Uganda because let me not go further. Then, because when I'm weightlifting, under the service, you know, somebody kneels for you before they serve you. I like that. And we were told yesterday that, you know, when, is it women or women? I think it's women, not women. Eh? When women are talking, Dominic told us that yesterday there were no questions from ladies because in some places where when a man is seated, a woman cannot. I want that. So I cross over to, anyway. So, poor infrastructure. Reaching your destination in business can be a threat. High inflation. So once you have done that, then you say, I want to use my strength. One, I have the money, and I have a supportive family, and there is this opportunity where they demand, let's talk to my family. Let's talk with my family to decide which business, because many of us, women now, not women. Women now sometimes ambush, bulldoze. I start a business and I've not talked with my family. It ends up, and you know, men, women and the youth are better entrepreneurs than us on average. Youth are creative and innovative, they're dynamic, and entrepreneurship requires creativity, dynamism. And if I judge, if I go by Kenyan examples, you go to the Kenyan banks and you say, who are the most defaulters of loans? Men, not women. So women are better at. So bring your family, you are mentoring us. If you don't need to go for a mentor, you probably when you have now made a decision that let me talk with my family, how do I do it? We do let them out, and then a mentor can come on board. Look, weakness number one, no experience. Number two, up all those weaknesses, plus these opportunities here. Say, don't jump into the fire. Let me go observe. Let me go and talk to role models and learn startup. Because many of us, once we get our retirement, jump into it, and we fail faster than we started. Then you are looking at all your strengths and all these threats. Can you turn your work experience into business? If you have been, let's say, a headmistress of a second school, why don't you also start a second school and turn that, a school and turn that experience? I'm not saying that you must only do business that in which you have work experience, but we're saying, can you look into your work and see whether you cannot. And now, your weaknesses are too many, your threats are too many. And you have friends, retirees. Why don't you team together? Why don't you come together, join, and see whether you cannot? So you have started doing your personal SWOT, mentoring yourself, and generating strategies, and then now you bring in the mentor. Now that I've started this, how can I go further? So, having done that, then you have your own plan of action. You have your strategies, talk to my family, what resources do I need, and you give yourself timelines. And with this, you can now bring in the mentors to help you sustain what you have started. And when you start something yourself, it will be more sustainable than when somebody told you to start, because this mentor told me, but now it's not working. But if it's you who went, I have this, can you help me? That is the gist of mentorship. And so my parting shot, every successful person has a painful story. So never give up. A school bell that wakes up in the morning to go to class is a disturbance. But the same bell that rings to close the day is welcome. Not everyone walking fast has an appointment. Some of them have running stomachs. Mwebare munonga.
So if you use the plan, there you are. A token of appreciation presented to Professor Henry Bwisa in recognition of accepting to give a keynote speech at the Multi Symposium. Professor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I wanted to say, I now feel like I'm a team member of Mbarara, and you know what team means, isn't it? Together, everyone achieves more. We can achieve more.
Professor Bwisa rears crickets in Nairobi, and he makes cakes out of crickets and biscuits. I told him to bring some, but he feared the migration at Entebbe. But we can find another way of bringing those cakes and biscuits to Uganda, made out of crickets. That's part of his innovation.